Hi, everybody. Decided to pop on live. Happy Canada Day. I probably should have sent a notice out that I was going live, but that's the way it rolls, friends. So thank you for popping in. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. It is Monday, July the 1st, if you can believe it. Hi, MJ. How you doing? Yes, it's been a bit. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Isadora. Hi, James. Jay is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Hi, MK Karen. Hi, Nancy. So, friends, I'm not sure if you've seen. I'm going to play the banner again. It's Canada Day here, and I made a little video. So, watch this, and I'll see you on the other side. So, friends, how is everybody? How are you doing? What's going on? What's happening? What's shaking? All those things. I just decided to pop on, and I'll tell you why. It is a holiday, and my husband's home, and so, thought we would hang out. And then the news came down from the U.S. Supreme Court. And you know that I'm not like totally political, but I'm in shock. And if I'm in shock, I can only imagine how you all must be feeling. And so I decided I was going to do my part, whatever Kelly could do. So that was to pull a few cards and just see if I might be able to, make somebody feel better about the whole situation. The cards were absolutely unbelievable. They were stunning, literally stopped me in my tracks. And it was like, you need to go live. And so here I am. I want to show you the cards that I pulled and the spread that I was doing, because it inspired me to go live, and I hope that it helps. So I used the Prism Oracle deck, right, which has like words, right? And I used the spread about what is going on. And so hi, Fatima. And it was absolutely illuminating to me. So the first card is the energy that's on its way out. Actually, why don't I'll pull the camera over and I'll do it this way, okay? Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I get them in the right order. So I wasn't prepared to go live. So if I'm a hot mess, I apologize. But anyways, it's a holiday, friends. Okay, let me just change the camera view. Okay, so you guys can see the cards, okay, right? So this spread right here. So card number 1 is the energy that's on its way out. First card that we have is determination. Okay, so when I saw that, I immediately think of, you're trying to figure something out, you want to do it. It's like, I want to go on a diet, but there's like one sliver of chocolate cake. It's a holiday. You know what? I'll start my diet tomorrow. Doesn't mean that you don't want to do something. It just means that you're like moving to a next level. Do you know what I mean? So the second card is the energy that's on its way in. And we have movement. So now you put that next to the determination, and in my mind, it's like we've gone from the planning stage to the inspired action. Like, this I'm thinking about, now I'm doing, right? Beautiful. Third card, the lesson that we are learning right now. I mean, if there is no better card, right? Look at the card that I flipped up, was trust. right? And I went off on a tangent, right? You know, don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. This is a test of our trust, right? This is a test of our trust. And I am not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination. You guys know that. But this is a test of our faith. This is a test of our belief system, right? This is a true test of ourselves, right? Are we going to sit back and are we going to take this? Or are we going to use our voice, use our vote, get out there and say how we feel, right? Try to make a difference. Don't assume that like it's the end of the road or all is lost. That kind of vibe is what I get from this, okay? The next card is advice from our higher self. And we have space. So to me, this is the, you know, counting to 10 before you speak. This is taking the time that you need to clear your head, to be proactive, not reactive, right? This is the time that it takes for like cooler heads to prevail, right? How can I make a difference, right? The last card, the outcome of this period in our life. And we have illumination. I mean, the blinders are off, right? The results are in. We now know, without a reasonable shadow of a doubt, what we need to do to change this circumstance, to change this situation, to make a difference, right? And then I pulled 2 oracle cards from the Sea Soul Journey Oracle. And honest to gosh, you guys, you wouldn't believe it. So we've got believe and lightness. Okay. Believe says, may the sea deepen your faith. So once again, right? Once again, leaning into the trust and the faith. Okay. The next card was lightness. May the light lift you to the surface. Again, sort of duplicating this message of illumination. How awesome is that? Now let me change the camera setting around again so that you guys can see me. So those were the cards that I pulled when literally I planned on doing like a pre-recorded message when I heard about the ruling. And when those cards came out, I thought, you know what? You need to go live. And I just, like, I'm shocked for you all. I can't imagine how you all must feel. So if you guys want to talk about it, you want to throw some cards, I'm here for you. So you let me know what you want to do. Hi, JR. Thanks, Isadora. Hi, Fleck. I'll have to be honest, like I was planning on doing like a big Canada Day celebration, and it seemed wrong to, you know, for me to be celebrating, you know, all of what I'm going to celebrate in Canada Day when my friends and my collective, you know, soul tribe are feeling possibly lost today. The Supreme Court ruling, JR, about the presidential immunity. So, you know, please just don't lose hope and don't lose faith, okay? I think that what we need to do is we need to give the powers that be, you know, the legal minds, the people that you trust in that area to review the statements and you know the verbiage of the actual ruling, to be able to come out and speak on it or speak to it. I'm sure that like Jamie Raskin, for example, will come out and say something that could be helpful. If in terms of A, understanding it, and B, being able to process it in a way that makes sense, right? Because, I mean, let's face it, you know, I'm not a legal mind, and it was like, all I heard was, oh my gosh, wow, right? Exactly. 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 MK Karen. So, you guys let me know. You want some cards? What do you want? Let me know. I'm here for it. In the meantime, I thought we could do some fun facts because you know that I love that. So some fun facts about Canada, right? These are 20 interesting facts about Canada. Are you guys ready for this? I'm just going to do this here. Whoops, 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 whoops. I went to the wrong place. Good grief. So, number one. Did you guys know that Canada is the second largest country in the world? Did you guys know that? Canada has one of the longest highways in the world, spanning over 4,860 miles. The Trans-Canada Highway is one of the longest national highways in the world, stretching from the Pacific to the Atlantic coast. This iconic roadway traverses diverse landscapes from rugged mountains to rolling prairies. So literally it goes from one side of our country to the other. Here is another interesting fun fact, friends. Churchill, Manitoba, which is sort of right in the middle of Canada, if you're looking at the map, right? It's like right in the middle, is the polar bear capital of the world. It's situated on the shores of the Hudson Bay, and it's a very small, remote town. And it becomes a hub of activity every autumn as polar bears migrate through the area, waiting for the bay to freeze so they can head out onto the ice. Canada crosses 6 time zones, which is remarkable to me. We have one of the longest coastlines of any country. Our coastline stretches over 125,570 miles. Right? Now, I'm pretty sure you guys all know this. What do you think Canada's national winter sport is? Just go out on a limb. Just go out on a limb. Well, I don't know if they do there, Isadora. That's a really good question. We don't, I mean, obviously, I don't have them here where I live, but they probably do there. You got it, MK Karen. Hockey is it, friends. Hockey is it. Fun fact, speaking of sports, do you know what sport was invented in Canada? What sport was invented in Canada? Or it was invented by a Canadian. It was basketball. Basketball was invented by a gentleman by the name of James Naismith, a physical education instructor from Almonte, Ontario. He created the game in 1891 as a way to keep his students active indoors during the winter months. How cool is that? You can see the Northern Lights in Canada. We are one of the Canada is the world's largest producer of maple syrup. It accounts for 70% of the global supply of maple syrup. And Quebec alone produces more than 90% of Canada's maple syrup earning it the title of the maple syrup capital of the world. The maple leaf is a symbol of Canada. Its symbolism traces back to Indigenous peoples who revered the maple tree for its nourishing sap and vibrant foliage. Today, the maple leaf adorns the Canada's flag, currency, and countless cultural artifacts. Yeah, it is hockey, JR. Or no, we didn't invent hockey. Sorry, wrong question. Okay, so what is the other thing here that's interesting? Well, this is I love this. Canada is home to more lakes than any other country. Canada is home to more lakes than any other country. Canada boasts an astonishing number of lakes, with over 30,000 of them scattered across its expansive territory. In fact, lakes cover around 9% of its total land area. I recently found this fact out, maybe like 6 months ago, and I don't know how I never knew this before, but it blows my mind when I just think about it. So 9 out of 10 Canadians live in the US-Canada border region. Approximately 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the Canada-United States border. This densely populated border region stretches from the Atlantic provinces to the Pacific coast, encompassing major cities such as Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and Ottawa. And interestingly enough, they say that we go from one side to the other, but they only reference major cities, 3 of the major cities in a very small section, which is just totally interesting. Yes, I heard talk of that too, MK Karen. I heard talk of that too. What else do we have to report? The beaver is Canada's national animal. The industrious beaver holds the prestigious title of Canada's national animal, known for its engineering prowess in building dams and lodges. The beaver symbolizes resilience, hard work, and perseverance. The coldest recorded temperature in Canada. Like, even I find this hard to believe. Canada is known for its cold winters, but did you know that it's also home to some of the world's coldest inhabited places? The villages of Snag in Yukon holds the record for the lowest temperature ever recorded in Canada, plummeting to a bone-chilling minus 63 Celsius, which is 81.4 Fahrenheit. Minus 81.4 Fahrenheit. And that was in 1947. Like, that's crazy to me. Right? We have countless inventions that were done in Canada. We have so many celebrities that are from Canada that a lot of people don't even know are Canadians, which, whatever. And as Fatima is mentioning, lots of medical things, like the birth control pill, for example, the pacemaker, lots of really cool things, medically speaking, batteries, garbage bags, a phone. Lots of cool things have happened here. Like, I mean, seriously, can you imagine minus 81? Like, that's ridiculous. Minus 81. Doesn't even seem possible, does it, friends? When I was on the other night, after the live was finished, I was talking to Johnny. You guys know Johnny joined me on the screen, and then we were talking backstage, and I had some Smarties. I don't have any left, but I had some Smarties, and I said, "Do you guys have Smarties?" And it's funny because he showed me what you guys call Smarties, which is not what we call Smarties at all. We call them by a different name, and so we sort of we're going down that little rabbit hole. Like, there's lots of interesting snacks, like junk food that you guys have that we don't have. And you can find some of those kind of videos on YouTube. I just think it's fun to watch, right? One of my favorite chips is smoky bacon. So it sort of tastes like bacon, right? We also have ketchup chips, which you guys don't have. We have dill pickle chips. I don't know if you guys have dill pickle chips or not, but we do. Dish that has become famous here is poutine. I don't like the name, the idea. I've never had it. I probably never will, but it's like French fries smothered with cheese curds and gravy. And it's become like a thing, right? We have lots of really cool restaurant chains that are like famous across Canada. Yes, Laura Secord. Yeah. Oh, does it? Our whole country is bilingual. So, like road signs all across the country, the road signs, instructions when you go into, government buildings. We all learn French when we're in school, like in public school, right straight through to grade 10, I believe. It is part of our curriculum, so we're all introduced to it. Let's put it that way. All of our messages that come from the government, like if there is like a press conference or any kind of news broadcast or anything like that, they're all done in both English and French. Yeah, chicken chips, yeah. I mean, it's gross, but yeah. Yeah, it's just, listen, how many times do we get to stand up and be proud of where we're from? And, I used to say as a little kid, like we used to go to Buffalo for vacations. We used to go to a place in New York called Fantasy Island, and when I was a little kid, and we used to cross over there quite often. And don't do that now, but we used to do that a lot. And I remember that when you would drive through, drive past the homes, everybody had an American flag out, and it just seemed like it was a very patriotic country. And Canada, to me, in my young years at that moment, didn't seem that it was. And as I get older and, my worldview has been opened, I'm exposed to more things. I understand things in a way that I didn't when I was younger. You learn to appreciate all of the things that you have. And as a country, we're very, very lucky. Ryan Reynolds is the only one I care about. Well, here's an interesting tidbit, friends. So my grandmother on my mother's side, when she was born in a French-speaking home, and she only spoke French. She never spoke English. She was, her parents got divorced, and then when her mother remarried, she married an English man. And so the children had to learn to speak English there. And then, of course, sadly, she lost her French because she wasn't around anyone that spoke French. But yeah, she was a French only speaking person. So yes, I can speak, and yes, I can understand, but I don't practice it. And I find that when you practice it, when you practice it, obviously it stays with you. I could get around, I think. Smarties make you smart. Smarties are sort of, if you were to compare, they would be like M&Ms ish. They are chocolate with a candy coating, but they come in all different colors, like purple and pink and red and yellow and green and brown and orange and all sorts of beautiful colors and blue. And but they taste quite candy-ish, if you will, right? Bonjour. Oh, cool. Yeah, we were talking about that the other night when I pulled out my book and I said that, like, I traced my grandmother's family history back. Yeah, it was really neat. Really neat. I was watching something and they were talking about different actors and singers that are Canadian, and people had no idea, that some of them were Canadians. And I just thought it was interesting. Well, yeah, because Maine is so close to the especially the maritime provinces, and New Brunswick is French. There's a lot of French speaking people in New Brunswick, as well as in Newfoundland and Labrador. What else? Do you guys have like a favorite? What was the question that Fleck asked? I didn't see a question that Fleck asked, but yeah, I can throw cards for sure. Fleck, put your question back in there, love. I didn't see it. Sorry. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. It's a beautiful day here, you guys. It's sunny and just like almost like perfect kind of day. Almost like a perfect kind of day. Almost a perfect kind of day. Sorry, because when I was reading those fun facts, I was looking at another screen, so I probably missed it. I apologize. Oh, cards on the court being expanded. Yeah, it's like 22 or 23, I think, here, Celsius. So easy conversion whenever I say Celsius. Not that any of you are going to remember this, and that's totally okay. So you take the number, so it's 22. You double it, so now it's 44, and then you add 30, right? So it's like 74, 75-ish. Right? Holy, where did everybody go? Nobody wants to hear about Canada. I get it. I get it. I got it. All right. Will the U.S. Supreme Court be expanded? Will the U.S. Supreme Court be expanded? Well, that's an encouraging card. Yes. Ace of Wands, Six of Swords, Three of Wands, literally expansion and like making a plan happen. And you've got the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, so taking control, taking charge, leadership. The Six of Swords, moving away from troubled waters. The Ace of Wands, it feels like there's some sort of like a creative way to make that happen, because I sort of don't feel like the traditional path would feel like that's the right way to go at this point, if you get my drift, right? Like the traditional way of getting someone on the Supreme Court is probably not the path that they're going to choose, that they're going to come up with a more creative kind of solution as to how we get the people on the court now. And then with the Six of Swords, that's moving away from troubled waters. So things are going to start to work themselves out because there is a plan, right? There is a vision. And of course, you have Biden here, I think, that administration as the Emperor taking control of the situation. So that seems positive, right? See, here's my thought on that. Again, Canadians, so even what I say, maybe it doesn't matter, but I mean, I don't know if I feel that expanding the court is the right thing or not the right thing or whatever, but I think that something that this has taught us all is that there's too much leeway. There's too much just whatever you want to do. Like there was too much control given to those people. Now, I just want to say this, like, again, right? Layperson, Canadian, can't vote. What does it matter to me? Why does it bother me? Well, it doesn't bother me in terms of like, I can't vote. It just doesn't make logical sense to me. So it bothers me, right? Like it boggles my mind. So it makes me want to like try to figure something out. If a person that is a convicted felon cannot vote in an election, how can a convicted felon be elected to a position within the government? Like, what? So that law, that rule, that whatever that is, that needs to be looked at, right? With some scrutiny. And I don't know that the Congress is the place to do that. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that that's the place where those things get decided. I get that. But I don't know that that's the place. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter who the president is, right? You all have two parties, which means one opposes the other, right? And so far, in the last, what's it been, 12 years, 16 years? It has been like us against you guys. Doesn't matter what side you're on, it's us against you guys. So literally, it's like roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, so nothing gets done. So if we are to assume that the only way that we can have change is by our Congress or your Congress, then that rule or that law needs to change. Someone within these administrations needs to find avenues for the president to be able to adjust these things accordingly, so that there is, as Karen pointed out, to achieve a better balance. If the president can't rule for longer than 8 years, if he can't have a term longer than 8 years, then how come a Supreme Court justice can rule for the life, just do whatever he wants or she wants, and not be accountable to anyone. Like, whoever made that rule, I mean, maybe it's like, the Constitution, like that was made like back in like 17 some odd or whatever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Doesn't make sense. Well, and I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? That if you think about it, that there are people in every walk of life, that have made a decision, or the company has made the decision for them, that they move on, that they step down, that they get promoted, that they get demoted, that they move to the left or they move to the right. And I don't mean that in a political landscape. I just mean, they go over here, right? Change their vision, change their focus. I mean, jeepers creepers. I don't know about you guys in the US, but like here in Canada, like you reach a certain age and you gotta like be retested for your driver's license, Well, I have a thought about that, MK Karen, and I don't know if I'm right or if it's just because of like this is the kind of person that I am, so I want to think the best in people. That at this point, someone who has followed him, someone who adores him, someone who has been a total supporter. How do you back away from that? If you just are like flabbergasted one day and just say like, wow, like that's a lot. I don't know about that. Maybe they're just not a strong enough individual to come out and voice that. You know what I mean? So they claim that they still support and they still love, but deep down they don't. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But I don't have a say and I don't get a vote. So my opinion really doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I mean, I can't believe that anybody does not see through. And let me just say, You know why I think Fox News works? Like, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to go down this tangent, but now y'all got me started, so I'm gonna have to light a cigarette for this. No, just... we all watch a lot of YouTube, right? I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't know about you all, but like I'm on YouTube. I have a variety of interests. I go to a lot of different channels, and I see channels that, put out like a video that's like kind of crappy, and they've got lots of subscribers. I see another video that is like, well done, and they got a lot of views. But the more views you get and the more likes you have and the more subscribers you have, the more negativity seems to come at you, right? Then you see those kind of sites that have like the clickbait titles, right? And that's all anyone really wants. I'm just gonna throw this out there, and you all tell me if you think, well, don't tell me that you think I'm crazy, because we already know what the answer there is. But this was my observation today, okay? I mentioned the other day that I'm watching the Karen Read trial. Karen Read trial is the lady who was accused of killing her boyfriend, who was a Boston police officer, okay? And today we are on verdict watch, literally waiting for a verdict to be handed down. There are 3 different sites that I watch, 3 different lawyers, okay? In the midst of this, so these are like live streams, just like this is, with like live chats, okay? One lawyer has 32,000 people in the chat. That's what the number says, okay? Another one has 28,000, and another one has 14,000. All of these people from around the world looking at, waiting for this verdict to come down. So let's say we've got 32 and 14 is 46, and we've got another 30. So let's say there's 80,000 people watching this happen live, right? Waiting for it. Let's say that half of those 80,000 people were US citizens. So that's 40,000. The Supreme Court ruling came out. I didn't see those numbers drop. Nobody was saying nothing about it. I tried looking for things on it. Nobody's saying nothing. I don't understand that. Like, that's newsworthy. I didn't see nothing on it. And I don't get it. More people are invested than the Karen in the Karen Read trial. Where, let's be honest, 98% of those people will never be affected by the judgment of that case, whether she is guilty or not. But yet, nobody's saying nothing about the U.S. Supreme Court, which affects everybody. Everybody. Make it make sense to me. I don't get it. Hung jury, you guys. For those of you that are following Karen Read, it's a hung jury. They were excused like an hour and a half ago. It's a hung jury, which means that there is a sentencing date. I believe it's July 22nd. Well, not a sentencing date. Sorry, wrong term. July 22nd, they come back into court where I guess they're going to decide what they're going to do, because now the prosecution can decide that they are or are not going to retry her. But when it is a hung jury, which means that they cannot come to a unanimous decision, it means that the trial is declared a mistrial. So after 30 days of testimony and over 600 exhibits, 2 years, 2 years after the fact, 2.5 years after the fact, it was declared a mistrial. You know, and you feel for the victim's family, because they just want to know what happened. They want justice. They want closure. They want healing. And then you look at the defendant, and you know, her family. I mean, when it was over, she was the judge said, you know, thank you, goodbye, or whatever, and the jury had been let out, so they were all like standing up, and her father is like right behind her, right, in the bench part, you know, of the courtroom, and she turned around and he just clung on to her. Yeah, Fleck, I mean, here's the thing, right? I don't know if she did it or if she didn't do it. But there was definitely reasonable doubt issued, you know, that came to the surface. Definitely reasonable doubt. Now, excuse me, the judge said that she was going into the jury room. She said that live. So we don't know what it was. We don't know if it was like 10-2, meaning 10 people found her, like, were finding her not guilty, and only 2 people were finding her guilty. It could have been 6-6, like, we don't know. And I don't know that we'll ever know. So Yeah. I know that Yannetti said something, which is one of her lawyers, afterwards. And I didn't hear everything that he said because I was getting ready to throw those cards and do my pre-recording. But I mean, I mean, you know, and I don't want to be ignorant to the parties, meaning the defense, like the defendant and the victim's family. Like, you know, no insult intended here, but the residents of that town, my God, how much money has this cost them in their tax dollars, right? I mean, it's outrageous. It's absolutely outrageous. That's I mean, I don't know how it could not, JR. Like, that's a very valid point. I don't know how it couldn't. I mean, I was listening to the ruling about the Supreme Court on one of the news stations this morning when it came out, and they played a clip from Donald Trump's lawyer when he made the argument to the appellate judges, right? I hope I didn't confuse you with there, right? So Donald Trump's lawyer making the argument to the appellate court. That's what they played on the news clip this morning. And he was in that argument. This is when the appellate judge asked him if you're, you know, about ordering SEAL Team 6 to kill your political opponent. And getting the, you know, immunity for that. And his argument started with the impeachment process. Now, again, I'm just a dumb Canadian, so, you know, I don't know. But you have two parties. You're trying to impeach somebody. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on, but you're trying to impeach somebody. And we all know this because it's happened in recent history. If you need 60% of the votes in the Senate to impeach that party, we are to assume too many factors, in my humble opinion. One, that they're all like going to be honest about it and not pay homage to their party's leader, that they're going to vote, you know, with their conscience kind of idea, right? Obviously, they are going to vote to not convict their party, right? Which means that they won't be convicted of impeachment, which, according to that lawyer, then meant that person cannot be criminally tried. Which means that in the future of the US, according to the way that I understood what he was suggesting as the argument to his response to the appellate judge, no person will ever be impeached, ever, in the Senate, in the US Senate, because you'll never get 60% of the votes unless it's all one party in there. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. How does that make sense? So that will never happen because we have this, like, you know, thing in place to stop it. But the truth of the matter is the thing that was created to stop it in the first place doesn't work anymore because they're all wearing tinfoil hats on one side or the other, or in the middle, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Anyway, hi, Johnny. Yeah, and Johnny's right. Like, all it takes is one person to have a hung jury, right? It doesn't, I mean, you don't know. Now, I did hear, speaking of the hung jury part, I did hear today that different jurisdictions, and again, you know, it's an American system, I don't understand it, Not saying that I understand the Canadian system any better, but I think our system is more streamlined, right? That, like, if you're in a particular place, you can expect it all to be that way. Where it doesn't seem to be that way in the US, or at least that's my limited understanding. So in that particular jurisdiction, I guess they don't have to let us know, the collective, what the jury was polled at. The judge said she was going to see them in chambers, and it was implied that that's where she would find out what the difference was. I'm sure the lawyers will find that out, but I don't know that the people, us, will ever know that. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know why we need to know that. Because we're not fighting the case. We're not the people on trial. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is just nuts. It's nuts. It's just nuts. That's it, friends. It's nuts. Well, I mean, here's the thing, Fleck. Like, you living through the Nixon thing versus this, I mean, it is a drastic difference. A drastic difference, then versus now. Right? And I'm not saying in any way that you're comparing. I don't mean that. I know what you were saying, but I'm saying, like, people are saying that, and it's like, they're like, you can't really compare the two situations, other than possibly, in my opinion, the urgency of, making him accountable for his actions. Beyond that, nothing is the same. Right? Yeah, sometimes the jury will come out and make a statement. Absolutely. I don't know. There's a lot, from what I understand and what I've heard on the news, there's a lot of contention in that town and surrounding areas regarding this whole situation, meaning the Karen Read situation. So I don't know that anybody, because I'm just putting myself in their shoes. I would think that I would be like, you know what, I'm just going to be like this, because I don't really want anyone to know my true thoughts. That to me feels a little too close to home. Do you understand what I'm saying? If there is any truth to what they are saying, and of course this is alleged speculation for entertainment purposes only, don't come at me, YouTube, shut my channel down. If there's any truth to all of what they're saying, I don't know that I would want to be like the first person on the news going, oh yeah, like, no. But yes, and definitely, I get what you're saying, Fleck. I'm just my point is this: there is, like, at the time, that was a total controversy, absolutely, right? And but that's when we had respect, and people, at least it appears that people had, they had a conscience, and they cared about the oath that they took to the constituents that elected them, the country as a whole, the citizens, the standing in the globe, like, they cared. People weren't only seeing dollar signs in power. They actually gave a crap, and it doesn't, and I think that's part of, like, this is just my opinion, for what it's worth. My opinion is that nobody gives a crap, because there's someone standing in the wings that's offering you more money, more opportunity. It's like dollar signs and power, and we know this to be true, right? If we're not looking at political parties, we know this to be true. Everybody and their brother wants to be rich and wants to be famous, right? Everybody and their brother is like starting an Instagram account or a TikTok account kind of idea, because they want to be rich and famous. Okay. Right. And then you get there and you figure out that it's not all that it's cracked up to be, that, money and power bring a whole set of problems that most people can't even, relate to or understand. And we have seen in recent years how people that we might have thought were like untouchable are totally touchable. And, crime is crime. It doesn't really matter, who you are, where you live, or how much money is in your bank account. Just means, that you might be able to, have a better lawyer or get out on a bond. It doesn't mean that you're above the law. And this argument is, in my opinion, is like a giant wheel of Swiss cheese. I mean, it has so many holes in it. I don't necessarily intuit this. This is just the logical side of my brain thinking, this cannot be the way that this ends. For America, as well as the rest of the world, right? This cannot be the way that this ends. Like, that's it, done and dusted. No, can't be. Can't be. Hi, Linda. No, absolutely, Fleck. Yeah, you get a good lawyer if you have money, but that's not to say that you can't have a good lawyer if you don't have money, right? Obviously, the chances are slimmed down, but there's a lot of good lawyers out there that will do pro bono work, and there's a lot of good litigators out there, public defender type people that are very passionate about the work that they do, and don't get recognized for the hundreds and thousands of cases that they put through every day, right? Yes. You know what I personally think, Fleck? That statement that you just made and what we were talking about before when I pulled the cards, I think that this is, again, based on those few cards that I pulled, and just my logical brain tells me like that plan is already in the works. And probably has been for a wee bit. Because the minute that they said that they would take it up, that was like a, Danger Will Robinson, moment, right? And then the minute that they didn't give it like a decision right away and drug it out was like another, Danger Will Robinson moment. So I feel like that's, some kind of plan or strategy is being worked on. Like we said before. That would be my opinion. Small little opinion for what it's worth. Look at the sun shining through the window, those friends. I had to close the door. It's beautiful out there. I had to close the door because, of course, the minute I decided that I was going to pop on live and show you guys those cards that I pulled, someone decided that was the time that they needed to mow their lawn, which, totally entitled to do because it's a holiday. But I was like, really? Thank you so much. Thanks, billion. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. 100%. 100%. 100%. Well, I mean, hey, if it's spring, I'm all for it, because honestly, I don't want the 105-degree temperatures back like we had a couple of weeks ago. I just felt like spaghetti stuck on the side of the wall. It was, I can't function like that, right? I can't function like that. I get hot and miserable, and like, don't feel like I can get any fresh air. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like trapped and claustrophobic, and I just, no. as my mama always said, you can take layers off, right? So in other words, you can cool yourself down. Once you're hot, you're hot. And as you get older, ugh, you know, like even 10 years ago, I could probably handle it. You know, now I'm just like, no, thank you. I remember when I was 30 years old, I went and bought a car, like brand new car, right off the showroom floor. It was a basic model, like, you know, no power, anything, no bells and whistles by any stretch of the imagination. And I had no air conditioning. And I used to do the banking for my business, like the company that I work for sometimes. So I would, you know, have to go to the bank with the company money deposit. Oh my gosh. And, you know, like you're in office clothes, right? You're dressed up, so to speak, and you get in the car and like literally, like I'd come in looking like a drowned rat because I'd be all sweaty and like, you know, my shirt stuck to my back. I mean, it's disgusting. The idea now to not have air conditioning in your car seems so foreign to me, because now I'd just be like, no, like I can't do it. Whereas when I was younger, I was like, you know, it'll be fine. You know, for the 10 days a year that, yeah, I got it. No. People in DC need to get to the streets. I just heard something else that was disturbing, and I probably shouldn't say anything because I don't know all the particulars. I only caught like a 2-minute something or other of it. And that was, and I don't even know when this happened. I don't know if this is recent or if this was a while ago. I'm assuming it's more recent than not. So somewhere, either in North Carolina or South Carolina, have you guys heard about this? They're calling themselves the Sisters of the Senate. And I believe like 5 women in the Senate were, like in the state Senate, were dismissed, like kicked out, put to the curb, because they spoke out about an abortion ban. Republicans and Democrats. And now there's only 2, I believe now there's only 2 women in the entire body of that state Senate. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that need to get to the streets, right? There you go, Fleck. I love it. Yeah. Wow, that's brutal, Isadora. Right? I mean, it like the whole thing is just, it's so upside down and sideways that it's really hard to put it into like some sort of logical sequence so that you can make sense of it all. And that's why I go back to those cards. Those cards were so uplifting and so positive, right? I firmly believe that as well, Fleck. I think that the millennials and the women are the ticket. Hi, Liz and Aunt. Sure, you can ask a question. Absolutely. I just popped on live to say hi to everybody. We're celebrating Canada Day here. I'm gonna jump off in a little bit, but yeah, go ahead and ask your question, my friend. I actually just threw cards on this. And what I got was the Ace of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Three of Wands, and I got the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. And so we surmised that the court will be expanding, and I believe that the current administration, is probably working on a way for President Biden to make that happen right now. And then I did another reading in the beginning, just to recap for anyone who wasn't here in the beginning. I wasn't going to come on live today, but when I heard about the ruling, I started tossing some cards. I was going to put out a pre-recorded video. And instead, because of the cards that I got, I wanted to come live and show you the cards that I got. So I did Oracle card for like the collective in the beginning, and then Fleck asked the question, and I tossed some cards. So all of that is in this video. So I hope that helps, Liz. If that's what your question was about. Thanks. Ask card. Someone wants me to move back to Ohio after serious heart event here in Cozumel. Costing me much money, but I love being here and feel I belong here. He is active alcoholic. Is better. Hi, Gina's Place. How you doing, love? Thank you for the Happy Canada Day wish. My eye is much better, as you guys can see. In case anyone's wondering why it looks like I have makeup on one side of my face, I don't. But my eye, I developed some sort of like infection, and I think it's like a sinus thing because my ear is kind of bugging me too. But it's much better. So the tea bags and the drops have been working. Yay. So I have a question for you guys. Well, I'll ask the question after I toss these cards for Liz. Liz, were you considering moving back and then might have changed your mind? And now you're thinking about it again? Okay. Well, the only reason I asked that is because of the cards that I've got. Okay, so we start out with the Eight of Swords. Or, sorry, the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups. And, you know, this is walking away from something that no longer serves you. Now, this is the energy that's coming in from the past. That's why I asked that. So it's like you were thinking about it possibly at one point, but I don't feel like you're thinking about it now. I feel like you made a decision and now someone's trying to talk you out of it. We've got the Four of Pentacles here, so you're holding on really, really tight, right? This is about literally holding on to your money, your budget, managing your resources wisely. But it's more than just resources. Like, it feels like this is mine and you can't take this away from me, right? Like, only I can make that decision. You can't make that decision for me. So the challenge for you is the Three of Cups. I mean, I'm telling you this, and like you already know this. This isn't like, wow, look at how intuitive Kelly is. But you've got the Three of Cups here, okay? And the Three of Cups is about emotions. It's about siblings. It's about joy. It's about like joyful announcements and community, right? I often say that this is like the card that gives the vibe of going out to lunch with your besties kind of moment. And I think what this is that and it's going to make sense when I read the rest of the cards, you're just going to have to find a way to speak your truth, right? I don't mean to be smart, but if you know what you want to do, then do that. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You're in charge of you. So do that, right? And once you stand up for yourself in a loving way and say, I love you, but this is my decision and I hope that you respect it, right? You've got the Nine of Cups. This is like, all of your wishes coming true. The joy that comes from just living your best life. If that is what makes you happy and that is what brings you joy, then that is what you should do. And if somebody doesn't like that, you can try to explain it to them. And if they can't accept it, that's like a boundary thing, right? Like that's their problem. That's got nothing to do with you, right? On the bottom of the deck, you've got the Strength card. Now, I'm in no way saying that this is easy, because this is not easy. I can see this. This is not easy in these cards. But, and I don't know what your medical thing is, and I'm not asking you to tell me, but, mindset, positivity, right? Happiness and joy play a big part in how we individually heal our own selves. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you were forced to move, or you were moving to make someone else happy, not yourself, then you get there and you're unhappy. How does that help you in terms of feeling joyful and continuing on a path of healing, right? I think that you're going to have to stay strong and really find your voice and communicate in a loving, kind, and compassionate way what it is that you want. And hope that the people around you that love and support you support that decision. That's what I got for you. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Let me just pull another little card here for you, Liz. So I hope that helps. So this is an interesting card. We've got Fluid. May you shift and transform. Right? Meaning, stay strong, stay confident, speak your truth. But don't let it hold you back. It's so hard for us to say how we feel to other people. I mean, I struggle with this all the time. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want anyone to feel bad, right? I like it when everyone's happy. That's not realistic, right? There are choices and decisions that we all make that are going to affect other people, not because they're bad or not because the people are bad, just because they love us and they want us to be healthy and happy and good and all of that. But we're not always on the same page. We have to convey that in a loving and compassionate and kind way, right? I mean, listen, if you feel that it's best for you to do X, then you do X. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who's dealing with it, right? And I feel for you. Hurricanes. I mean, we haven't had a hurricane, double touch wood, but just like a week and a half ago, we had like 3 tornado warnings in a day. And we don't normally get tornadoes here, but they've been happening. I mean, this is like the 4th time or the 3rd time in just a few short months that we've had tornado warnings. And the other thing is too, like, you know, and this is just for anyone who's listening, maybe it's not right for you right now. Maybe that's how you feel. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be right for you in 3 months or 6 months. I mean, you can change your mind, right? Just because you say that this is what it is now doesn't mean that that's how it's always going to be. You could change your mind. You could totally change your mind. All right, so it is 4:42 here in the afternoon. I know that my husband has to go and do something. He's going to go help a friend do something for a little bit. So, no, 100%, Liz. If you watch that reading that I did in the beginning, we 100% agree with you. That's totally what the cards got. And it was all about having trust and having faith and just, you know, staying on course. Oh, you're absolutely welcome, Liz. I wish you many blessings and continued, healing blessings and vibes for your continued journey. I love you guys and I appreciate you, but I did want to ask you a question before I let you guys go. Okay, now I asked this the other day, and I'm asking for a reason. It's important to me that I get your feedback. But at the same time, I'm struggling with what to do. And so that is why I keep asking. For ever since I started my channel, pretty much, I've been putting out daily videos. They take a lot of time and they take a lot of energy, and I have no problem doing them. You know, generally speaking. When I do have a problem doing them, and I'm just being honest here, is when I take the time, when I take the energy, and I record all the videos, which takes me probably a good, 3-4 hours. By the time all is said and done, I post them up and nobody watches them. I have, and I'm very grateful for all of my supporters, all of my subscribers, over 1,100 subscribers. I should not have daily videos going out with 6, 14 views. And I feel bad some days that, I missed a day, or, I couldn't put a video out that day, because I know that some people do watch them. And then other days I'm like, obviously they're not resonating with people. People don't want to watch them. So I'm not going to do them anymore. I am honestly betwixt and between. I do not know what the right answer is. I do not know how to make them better. I mean, I only know how to do me. You know what I mean? Like the way that I read. So I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? I'd love some input. Do you want to see daily videos? Like, what do you guys think? I mean, and I'm not like holding you to it. I'm just asking for your opinion. Do you know what I mean? because honestly, I just, I don't know. I don't know what to, I really don't know what to do. Oh no, and I totally get that, Liz. Like, this isn't, I'm not complaining in any way, and I'm not trying to, like, ooh, like I'm saying this, so please watch my videos. I don't mean it like that. Like, we all have life, you know. We all do what we do, and we all like do what we can, and we all have like schedules, we're in different time zones. Like, I totally respect it, and I totally get it. I'm not expecting 1,100 people to watch my video every day, but it is a lot of work, and it's a lot of energy and a lot of effort. And if nobody's watching, then no one's watching. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm totally okay with that. Like, I'm not taking it personally by any stretch. I just don't want to be jamming at something. I don't want to be telling myself that this is something that I have to do because I know that someone is expecting it or waiting for it or needing it or wanting it or whatever. If nobody's waiting for it or wanting it or needing it, right? And I appreciate that, Jessica. I really do. Isadora says weekly readings and a pop-up would be awesome. Linda says that YouTube is partly the issue. Sometimes you don't get notifications, and I get that too. Like, according to my statistics, there's probably only 300 people that have their notifications on out of 1,100 people that are subscribed. So, I mean, whatever. Am I going to do the fire pit? The fire pit is very up in the air at this moment. And hi, by the way, Pierrette, happy Canada Day, my fellow Canadian. It's very much up in the air. We have some fire bans going on. Sometimes it's just too hot to even consider having the fireplace on. Then, of course, now that we have the dog, it's like a whole situation with her because she doesn't like the fire. It's like a whole thing. So it's very up in the air. But if I can do it, then I will do it. Right? JR says, is the time in worth the outcome? If you're not getting an even exchange, I say no, just my opinion. I mean, there are days when, like today's reading, where I just felt I needed to do it. So I'm going to do that. But to just sit down and just pump out the videos because I think that that's what I'm supposed to do, that's the part that I'm kind of like, right? Flex says, oh, sorry. Oh, Liz says, you are now competing with so many readers and more coming as well. You are so wonderful. Not hearing you complaining. Where is your energy best helpful as service? Thank you, Liz. Here's the thing. I mean, and I get what you're saying because there's so many readers out there. Like, again, it is what it is. I'm not trying to be the biggest and the baddest and the bestest. I don't need 700,000 subscribers. It would be great, but it is what it is. I only know how to do Kelly. Right. But I appreciate the feedback. Thank you for being honest. Jessica says, I agree with Isadora. Flex says weekly. Gina says, Kelly, is this a recent development? Has this been a situation for a while now? That's a hard question to answer, but I'll do my best. So in terms of the views going up and down like a toilet seat, that is not a new thing. That has been something that's been happening since, I would say, about maybe January, December, January. And, I've lost lots of subscribers. I lost another one somewhere over the weekend. I mean, whatever. Like, honestly, when I started, I had no reason to think that I couldn't have a successful channel. I had no idea what this channel was going to be. It has evolved and moved. I've evolved. I've grown. I've had some backward steps and some missteps, and it doesn't come with a manual. My expectations have changed, and at this point, I just want to show up when I can show up and share how we are right now, right? Just talking and sharing with each other and create that kind of environment. I don't care if there's 3 people here or 3,000 people here, or 30,000 people here. Like it really doesn't make a difference to me. I'm not trying to achieve anything per se other than putting out what I feel is important. Now, in terms of like the content itself, as a body of work, I care about what I put out. I'm not going to put out crap. And so, if I put up a post like I did the other day and say like my eye is like all messed up, like my eye was literally like shut. I couldn't see. I can't concentrate when I can't see. When my anxiety is high, I don't feel like my connection is sometimes good, and so I won't do it. Like I won't, because I understand that if you're watching, if you're listening, if you're paying attention to the videos, you care about what the message is. And I am not trying to get thumbs up or views or clicks or subscribers that I'll just put out whatever. Like I'm not going to do. So that's a difficult question for me to answer. I hope that made sense, what I just said. Hi, Louise. How are you, my love? I'm like way far behind, guys. Sorry. So Liz says, I'm not getting notifications at all from you, but subscribe, go figure. You popped up as divine guidance for me today. See? And it does work that way. And so that's wonderful. Yes, Flex says political is the focus now. I get it. JR says makes sense. Go based on how you feel that day. Yeah. Linda says you should do what is best, serves you. I love lives more because of the interaction, like chatting with old friends, 100%. JR says if you feel yes, do it. If no, don't. It'll still be here. I'm sure other people too. Yes. Flex says, what the fuck? Losing people, they're lost. You, Kelly. Thank you, Flex. And I, like, that's kind of the way that listen, at the same time, can I just say that, for a girl who was not spiritual, who never owned a deck of tarot cards or oracle cards, that didn't know that she had a connection with spirit, I think together, meaning you, me, and spirit, we've done a pretty darn good job. Right? And so, like, it's a beautiful thing. No matter what, I am so incredibly blessed, grateful, hopeful, and literally just tickled pink at what we have accomplished together, because this is my channel 100%, but we're in this together. I couldn't do this without y'all. It doesn't work if y'all aren't here with me, and what we have accomplished together is just nothing short of a miracle. So I'm tickled pink, with what we've accomplished. And I have no intention or desire of stopping or quitting anytime soon. I may not just be pumping out the videos like I once did, right? And there's my hubby. Hi, honey. Yes. Oh, Fleck, you're very kind. Thank you, my friend. And so, I asked the other night, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm having a bad day and I'm trying to put anyone on the spot. Truly, I'm not. I appreciate all your feedback. I really, really do. And I asked the other day who is here. And so, I have some different people here today. And so I thought I would ask again. And so, we will, oh, really? That's terrible, Gina. but I mean, I do know that is that is a thing. I mean, it's happened to me where I've been unsubscribed from channels, even though they say that doesn't happen. But it is what it is. I'm having another cigarette. Sorry, honey. I know you have to go soon. I'll be out in a minute. Okay. Hi, Cindy. No, truly. I mean, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the love, all the support. Truly, I do. This isn't a, please don't misunderstand where that comes from. It's just quite simply and honestly, it's a lot of energy and a lot of work. And, if no one's into it, I would much rather put my time and my energy into something that you all. So let's just say, for an example, that you all said to me, Kelly, you know what? We would really love a video on, I don't know, like the Oracle Garden, or more Oracle messages, or we want a reading on, I don't know, Prince Harry, for whatever. If you told me, then I would do that. If I thought I was able to, then I would do that. But what I'm doing now, and this is the part that makes me, this is where I'm being honest. The part where I'm doing now is when I look at that, when I see that, it just depletes my energy, right? And I am all about make something work, right? I'm not really into putting my energy into something that is going nowhere. Hi, Marby. Hi, Cindy P. So, I love doing random pop-ups. I really, really do. They're fun. I wasn't planning on going live today. Like I told you guys, I literally was doing a pre-recorded video. Well, my initial thought on Friday was to go live today. And then I changed my mind because I was on so long on Friday. And then I decided not to do it. And then I was going to do a pre-recorded message for today. Once that ruling came down, and then I was like, the cards were so awesome that I thought it was such a good message that I was like, no, let's go live. Let's talk about it. I mean, that's how these things unfold, but I'm not always in an opportunity to do that. Yes, I have someone in the window. I don't know who it is. Well, that's Quincy. Oh, thanks, Fleck. Yeah, I haven't done one of those in a while. Like an update on Princess Catherine or King Charles. I mean, and there's so much crap out there. Honestly, people need to let go of the Meghan thing. They really, really do. Just from a simple perspective of she's a stranger to you all. The hate, the level of hate for someone that has really no influence on you. She's not in a position of power or decision making for anyone. I don't, other than her children and as a family unit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. And that doesn't go for just her. That goes for any situation where people are so vocal, so out about their feelings for a situation or a person or whatever, an issue that doesn't personally affect them, or when that person is not in a position to change anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't get that. Yeah, maybe a weekly video, weekly horoscopes. See, and I love doing the horoscopes too. And when I've told you guys that for years and years and years. I'm all about the taroscopes. I mean, that was what brought me to YouTube in the very first place. But they take a long time to do. Yeah. The crime reading, I don't know. Like, I've thought about it a few times. I've gone there a few times, but that's hard energy sometimes. It's not even about, I mean, first of all, hate's a very strong word. So let's just say, you know, and I personally, like, I don't get it at all. Like, I like the girl. But let's just say, you know, I dislike Bob. Bob is just a person. Okay, maybe he's an elevated personality, meaning that he has some form of a platform. Well, why am I going to go out of my way at every moment and every opportunity that I can to say that I hate Bob? Bob is a, you know, blank, this, that, etc., whatever. Like, let it go. You know, like, say it and get on with it. Like, Bob's not in a position to affect me in one way or the other. I don't know Bob. Bob has no bearing on what I do, or, you know what I mean? I'm not going to ever run into Bob. I mean, chances are, you know, slim to zero. I don't get how you have that much in you to put that much energy towards disliking an individual that you don't know, that has no hold over you, has no authority over you in terms of like a decision that would affect you, and that you're never going to cross paths with. Like, wow, really? I mean, in the beginning, I thought it like, honestly, I thought it was just because people could, you know, because we have these platforms where we can just say however we feel, like that, and then, you know, go about our business. Like, that's what I thought it was about. But it's been going on for so long. And I mean, then you have the sites that, you know, they just, you know, this is what she was really doing, or this is what she was really thinking, or this is what she was really looking at. Like, honestly, people are dedicating their time and their energy, and like, understand where I'm coming from based on what I just said, right? That now people are like, well, she was looking at that, not at that. She didn't know that the cameras were rolling. Like, who cares? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, Linda, blessings, my love. I'm sorry that you've been having a few difficult days. Thank you for joining us, and I'm glad that being here is helped in some small way. Right, Fleck? Isadora says, I think that, Isadora says, I think Eminem has done a lot of self-damage to herself and the other members of the royal family. And perhaps she has. Perhaps she has. I don't think, I mean, I come from the school of, like, when I know that I have done something wrong, there is nothing that anyone out there is going to say and or do, you know, any action towards me that's going to make me feel any worse than I'm already making myself feel. Right? And regardless of any mistake or, you know, misstep that I might have made, and again, this is just my opinion, that's for me and the party to resolve. But in terms of like where it started, yeah, you know, I could see how people could say, like, you know, it, like, she did a lot of damage. I also, and this is just my personal opinion, where that is concerned, I think that she was a convenient scapegoat. I think if people were truthful and honest with the situation, there was warning signs way before she ever arrived, even on the scene, that Prince Harry was struggling and wanted out. But she was a convenient scapegoat because it's her fault that he left. And that's not really the truth of the matter. And that's just my opinion for what it's worth. I don't think that it's her fault. He is a grown man. He is an adult, and he was put in a difficult situation if he felt like he had to choose. But that situation and the weight of that had no more weight on it than, say, Liz's question that she asked us earlier, right? Because to her, that's a weighty situation. It's because we have been allowed to have our eyes on them that the collective feels like they have a say. And that's where I don't understand, like, what's all the hate about? Like, honestly, don't care what Meghan's doing. Don't care what Prince Harry's doing. You know, don't wish them any bad stuff, but like, I don't care what they're doing. It's no different to me than the Trump thing. Why are we hearing about this man every single hour of every single day? Like, get on with it. Is there nothing else that we can talk about? I'm just surprised that the abundance of hate has held on for as long as it has, because it's one of those things where one would assume that it would switch with the news cycle. You know what I mean? Like, we'd move on to something else. Hi, Bridget. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? You guys, if you're into astrology, Bridget has an amazing channel that I found, I think, just in the beginning of the new year. And I was supposed to invite Bridget on, and it never worked out. I've only done about, I don't know, maybe this is like my 6th live since January. I sort of took a couple of steps back, and Bridget and I had something planned, and then I had to back out. But if you guys are into astrology, she does an excellent channel, so do go check her out. Yeah, I mean, I listen, and I'm saying that, you know, it's like the Kardashians. I mean, it's like Kardashian this, Kardashian that, Kardashian this, Kardashian that. No offense to the Kardashians, no offense. You know, it's like One Direction. When are they getting back together? Well, in 2000 and whatever it was, when they said that they were taking a year hiatus, and then it was 2018, and that was like 3 or 4 years at that point, it's 2024. You know, like, get on with it. If we were hearing about that every day, when are they coming back? Because they said they were only going to be gone for a year. One would have to, like, sort of take a step back and go, like, what is actually going on? Do you know what I mean? Thank you, JR. Blessings, my friend. Yeah, do go check Bridget out. She's great. She does like, I love the way that she explains astrology, because I love astrology, but y'all know, like, I don't understand it at all. And she breaks it down in a really simple way, and she does like daily stuff, right? Like, she does a weekly overview, but like, she does daily stuff too. So super helpful if you're into it. So check it out. All right, friends. I had no intention of being on here this long, but that's what happens when you give me a microphone. Love you lots, and thank you for the feedback and for being so honest. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and a good week. And I don't know when I'm going to come back on at this moment. So, like, basically, I'm leaving you with not a lot of information, as per usual. Sorry. I'm so confused because today's Monday, so like, it's like messing up my I keep thinking today's Sunday. So my brain isn't working properly because I'm on holiday mode. What can I tell you? Everything goes back to normal tomorrow, right? My husband goes back to work, and we will get our routines back together and all that good stuff. But thank you for hanging out with me, you guys. I love you lots, and I appreciate your support more than I can possibly say. Like I said before, this doesn't work without you guys. So thank you for putting up with me and hanging out with me and hanging out with each other. And I wish you many blessings until we can see each other again. Probably at some point this week or on the weekend, you guys will see another live, and I will put a video out for the week because you asked for it. All right. So until we see each other again, many blessings. Mwah. Bye, everybody.